Imagine waking up one day to find that everything you once held dear suddenly seems meaningless. Your job, your relationships, even your favorite Netflix shows all lose their luster. This sense of disconnect from the material world is just one of the many unexpected consequences of spiritual awakening. As your consciousness expands, you may find yourself grappling with a profound sense of alienation from the world around you. But that's not all. The path of spiritual awakening can be riddled with emotional turbulence. You might experience intense mood swings, from euphoric highs to crushing lows. One moment, you're filled with an overwhelming sense of love for all beings, and the next, you're plunged into a pit of despair, questioning the very nature of existence. These emotional roller coasters can leave you feeling unstable and vulnerable, especially in a world that often prioritizes consistency and predictability. Another dark side effect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual bypassing. This occurs when individuals use spiritual beliefs or practices to avoid dealing with unresolved emotional issues or life challenges. It's like slapping a love and light band-aid on a gaping wound of trauma or unaddressed psychological pain. While it might provide temporary relief, it ultimately hinders genuine healing and growth. As your spiritual awareness grows, you may also find yourself becoming hypersensitive to the energies around you. Suddenly, crowded places like shopping malls or busy streets become overwhelming. You might pick up on the emotions and thoughts of others, leaving you feeling drained and confused. This heightened sensitivity can make navigating daily life in our fast-paced, technology-driven world a real challenge. The journey of spiritual awakening often involves confronting your own shadow self, those parts of your psyche that you've long suppressed or denied. This process can be incredibly uncomfortable and even frightening. You might uncover aspects of yourself that you're not proud of, or come face to face with deep-seated fears and insecurities. It's like Marie Kondoing your soul, but instead of just decluttering your closet, you're sorting through a lifetime of emotional baggage. One particularly challenging aspect of spiritual awakening is the potential loss of relationships. As you evolve and your perspective shifts, you may find that you no longer resonate with certain friends or family members. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel stilted and superficial. You might struggle to relate to people who don't share your newfound interests or understanding of the world. This can lead to a profound sense of loneliness and isolation, even as you feel more connected to the universe as a whole. Spiritual awakening can also trigger a crisis of faith or belief. The spiritual or religious traditions you once found comfort in might suddenly feel limiting or even false. This can be incredibly disorienting, especially if your spirituality has been a cornerstone of your identity. You may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about God, the universe, and your place in it. This existential crisis can leave you feeling unmoored and searching for new sources of meaning and purpose. Moreover, as you become more attuned to the interconnectedness of all things, you may develop a heightened awareness of global issues and suffering. The nightly news becomes not just a source of information, but a visceral experience of the world's pain. You might feel overwhelmed by the enormity of problems like climate change, social injustice, or political corruption. This increased empathy and awareness can lead to feelings of helplessness and despair, as you grapple with how to make a difference in a world that seems so broken. Another dark side effect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual ego inflation. As you gain new insights and experiences, there's a risk of developing a sense of spiritual superiority. You might find yourself judging others who haven't awakened, or feeling like you have all the answers. This spiritual arrogance can create new barriers between you and others, ironically moving you further away from the unity and connection that spiritual awakening is meant to foster. Spiritual awakening can also bring about significant changes in your lifestyle and habits. You might suddenly feel compelled to adopt a vegan diet, practice minimalism, or eschew modern technology. While these changes can be positive, they can also create friction in your personal and professional life. Imagine trying to explain to your boss why you need to take frequent meditation breaks, or why you can no longer participate in the office happy hour because it doesn't align with your new values. These lifestyle shifts can lead to feelings of alienation and misunderstanding in various social contexts. The process of spiritual awakening often involves dismantling long-held beliefs and conditioning. This can be incredibly destabilizing, like having the rug pulled out from under you. You might find yourself questioning everything from your career choice to your cultural identity. This period of intense questioning and reevaluation can lead to a sense of rootlessness and uncertainty about your place in the world. It's as if you're rebuilding your entire worldview from scratch, and the construction process can be messy and chaotic. Furthermore, spiritual awakening can sometimes trigger physical symptoms that are difficult to explain or manage. You might experience sudden energy surges, unexplained aches and pains, or changes in your sleep patterns. These physical manifestations of spiritual growth, often referred to as ascension symptoms, can be alarming and disruptive to your daily life. Imagine trying to focus on a Zoom meeting while feeling like there's electricity coursing through your body, or attempting to explain to your doctor why you suddenly can't sleep more than 3 hours a night. The path of spiritual awakening can also lead to a sense of time distortion. You might find that your perception of time becomes fluid, with hours seeming to pass in minutes or a single moment stretching into eternity. This altered sense of time can make it challenging to function in a world that operates on strict schedules and deadlines. You might struggle to arrive at appointments on time or complete tasks within expected timeframes, leading to frustration and misunderstandings with others who don't share your altered perception. Additionally, spiritual awakening can sometimes trigger what's known as a dark night of the soul. This profound period of spiritual depression and disconnection can feel like you're lost in a vast, empty void. Despite your spiritual practices and insights, you might feel completely cut off from any sense of meaning or purpose. This existential crisis can be deeply unsettling and may last for extended periods, challenging your resolve and faith in the spiritual journey itself. Spiritual awakening often brings with it a heightened sense of intuition and psychic abilities. While this might sound exciting, it can also be overwhelming and confusing. You might start receiving intuitive hits or premonitions that you don't know how to interpret or act upon. Imagine suddenly knowing that your coworker is going through a divorce before they've told anyone, or having a vivid dream that seems to predict a future event. These experiences can be disorienting and may leave you questioning your own sanity or struggling to discern what's real and what's imagination. Another challenging aspect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual addiction. Just as people can become addicted to substances or behaviors, it's possible to become addicted to spiritual experiences or practices. You might find yourself constantly chasing the next spiritual high, whether it's through meditation, plant medicine ceremonies, or other esoteric practices. This addiction can lead to neglect of other important areas of your life, such as relationships, work, or self-care. It's like becoming so obsessed with reaching enlightenment that you forget to live your actual life. Spiritual awakening can also bring about a profound shift in your relationship with material possessions and money. You might suddenly feel a strong aversion to consumerism and materialism, leading to conflicts with friends or family who don't share your new perspective. Imagine trying to explain to your partner why you no longer want to celebrate birthdays with gifts, or why you're considering selling all your possessions to live a nomadic lifestyle. This shift can create significant tension in relationships and may require a complete reevaluation of your lifestyle and financial goals. Moreover, as you progress on your spiritual journey, you may encounter the phenomenon of spiritual plateaus. After initial periods of rapid growth and profound insights, you might hit a wall where it feels like you're no longer making progress. This can be incredibly frustrating and may lead to self-doubt and questioning of your entire spiritual path. It's like training for a marathon and suddenly finding that no matter how much you run, you can't seem to improve your time. These plateaus can test your commitment and patience, requiring you to dig deep and find new ways to grow and evolve. The process of spiritual awakening can also bring up unresolved trauma and psychological issues. As you become more aware and present, buried memories or emotions may surface, demanding to be acknowledged and healed. This can be a painful and disruptive process, especially if you're not prepared for it. Imagine suddenly being flooded with memories of childhood abuse during a meditation session, or finding yourself unable to control your emotions in situations that remind you of past traumas. This aspect of spiritual awakening underscores the importance of having proper support and integrating psychological healing with spiritual growth. Spiritual awakening often involves a radical shift in perspective that can make it difficult to engage with the mundane aspects of life. You might find yourself struggling to care about things like paying bills, doing laundry, or engaging in small talk. This disconnection from everyday reality can create practical challenges in maintaining a functional life in society. It's like suddenly seeing the world as a grand cosmic play and wondering why you should bother with the script of your daily routine. Another dark side effect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual narcissism. As you gain new insights and experiences, there's a risk of becoming overly focused on your own spiritual journey to the exclusion of others' needs and perspectives. You might find yourself constantly talking about your spiritual experiences, expecting others to be as interested in your journey as you are. This self-absorption can alienate friends and family, and paradoxically move you further away from the interconnectedness that spiritual awakening is meant to foster. Spiritual awakening can also lead to a sense of cosmic loneliness. As you expand your consciousness and gain a broader perspective on existence, you might feel an acute sense of separation from others who haven't had similar experiences. It's like being the only person who can see in color in a world of black and white. This feeling of being fundamentally different or separate can be profoundly isolating, even as you intellectually understand the unity of all things. Moreover, the process of spiritual awakening can sometimes trigger what's known as a Kundalini awakening. While this can be a powerful and transformative experience, it can also be incredibly intense and even frightening. You might experience sudden rushes of energy up your spine, spontaneous body movements, or intense heat or cold sensations. These physical manifestations can be disruptive to your daily life and may be mistaken for medical conditions if not properly understood. Imagine trying to explain to your doctor why you sometimes spontaneously start shaking, or why you feel like there's a snake of energy coiling up your spine. Spiritual awakening can also lead to a loss of motivation for worldly achievements. As you gain a broader perspective on existence, things like career advancement, material success, or social status may lose their appeal. While this shift in values can be liberating, it can also create practical challenges, especially if you still need to function in a society that values these things. You might struggle to find the motivation to pursue a promotion at work or to engage in networking events, even when these activities are necessary for your financial stability. The journey of spiritual awakening often involves periods of intense doubt and questioning. You might find yourself constantly second-guessing your experiences and insights, wondering if you're truly awakening or just deluding yourself. This self-doubt can be paralyzing and may lead to a constant state of uncertainty about your path. It's like being on a road trip where you're never quite sure if you're heading in the right direction, despite having a map and GPS. Another challenging aspect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual burnout. In your enthusiasm for growth and transformation, you might push yourself too hard, engaging in intensive practices or seeking out constant spiritual experiences. This overexertion can lead to exhaustion, both mental and physical. Imagine running a spiritual marathon without proper rest or recovery time. This burnout can leave you feeling depleted and disconnected from the very spiritual connection you're seeking to cultivate. Spiritual awakening can also bring about a heightened awareness of synchronicities and patterns in your life. While this can be fascinating and insightful, it can also lead to overinterpretation of events and a tendency to see meaning in everything. You might find yourself constantly looking for signs or messages from the universe, which can be exhausting and potentially lead to magical thinking. It's like living in a constant state of déjà vu, where every coincidence seems loaded with cosmic significance. Moreover, as you progress on your spiritual journey, you may encounter the challenge of integrating your spiritual insights with your everyday life. It's one thing to have profound realizations during meditation or spiritual retreats, but quite another to apply these insights in your daily interactions and decision-making. This integration process can be frustrating and may lead to a sense of living a double life, one spiritual, one mundane. Imagine trying to bring the peace and clarity you feel during meditation into a heated argument with your teenager or a stressful work meeting. The process of spiritual awakening can also lead to a reevaluation of your life purpose and career path. You might suddenly feel called to pursue a more spiritually aligned vocation, even if it means leaving behind a stable career or years of education and training. This shift can create significant upheaval in your life and may be met with resistance or lack of understanding from others. It's like deciding to leave your job as a successful corporate lawyer to become a yoga teacher or spiritual counselor, a choice that might seem incomprehensible to those around you. Spiritual awakening often involves a deepening awareness of the impermanence of all things. While this understanding can bring freedom and detachment, it can also lead to a sense of futility or nihilism. You might find yourself questioning the point of any endeavor, given that everything is ultimately transient. This perspective can make it challenging to engage fully in life or to pursue long-term goals. It's like trying to build a sandcastle while acutely aware that the tide will inevitably wash it away. Another dark side effect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual bypass in relationships. As you become more focused on your spiritual growth, you might use spiritual concepts or practices to avoid dealing with relationship issues or conflict. You might dismiss your partner's concerns as ego-based or avoid difficult conversations by retreating into meditation. This spiritual avoidance can create distance and resentment in relationships, ultimately hindering genuine connection and growth. Spiritual awakening can also bring about a heightened sense of responsibility for the world around you. As you become more aware of the interconnectedness of all things, you might feel an overwhelming urge to save the world or fix all of society's problems. While this impulse comes from a place of compassion, it can also lead to burnout and feelings of inadequacy when you inevitably fall short of these lofty goals. It's like feeling personally responsible for solving climate change or ending world hunger, a burden that's simply too heavy for any one person to bear. Moreover, as you progress on your spiritual journey, you may encounter the challenge of discernment when it comes to spiritual teachers and teachings. With the proliferation of spiritual information available online and in various communities, it can be difficult to distinguish genuine wisdom from charlatanism or well-intentioned but misguided advice. You might find yourself drawn to charismatic teachers or exciting new practices, only to later discover that they're not as authentic or beneficial as you initially thought. This process of trial and error can be disheartening and may lead to skepticism or cynicism about spiritual teachings in general. The process of spiritual awakening can also trigger what's known as an existential crisis. As you question long-held beliefs and expand your understanding of reality, You might find yourself grappling with profound questions about the nature of existence, free will, and the meaning of life. These deep philosophical inquiries can be intellectually stimulating, but also emotionally taxing. Imagine constantly pondering whether free will exists while trying to decide what to have for dinner or whether to accept a job offer. This existential questioning can make even simple decisions feel loaded with cosmic significance. Spiritual awakening often involves a shift in how you relate to your own thoughts and emotions. While increased awareness can be liberating, it can also lead to a tendency to overanalyze every thought and feeling. You might find yourself caught in endless loops of self-reflection, questioning the origin and validity of every mental state. This hyper-awareness can be exhausting and may actually hinder your ability to be present and engage fully in life. It's like trying to drive a car while simultaneously studying every detail of the engine's functioning. Another challenging aspect of spiritual awakening is the potential for spiritual materialism. In your enthusiasm for growth, you might become caught up in acquiring spiritual experiences, attending workshops, or collecting certifications as a way of proving your spiritual progress. This focus on external markers of spirituality can actually distract from genuine inner growth and lead to a kind of spiritual consumerism. It's like trying to buy enlightenment, one retreat or crystal at a time. Spiritual awakening can also bring about a profound shift in your relationship with your own identity. As you realize the fluid and constructed nature of the self, you might experience a dissolution of your sense of who you are. While this can be liberating, it can also be deeply unsettling and may lead to periods of confusion and disorientation. Imagine waking up one day and not being sure of your own name or personal history. This level of identity disruption can be both freeing and frightening. As we conclude our exploration of the dark side effects of spiritual awakening, it's important to remember that these challenges, while daunting, are often integral parts of the growth process. They can serve as catalysts for deeper understanding, compassion, and authentic transformation. By acknowledging and working through these difficulties, we can cultivate a more grounded and integrated spirituality that enhances our lives and relationships, rather than disconnecting us from them. The journey of spiritual awakening is not a linear path to perpetual bliss, but rather a complex, sometimes messy process of expanding consciousness and deepening self-awareness. It involves both light and shadow, joy and pain, connection and isolation. By understanding and preparing for these potential dark side effects, we can navigate our spiritual journeys with greater resilience, wisdom, and compassion for ourselves and others. Remember, if you're experiencing any of these challenges, you're not alone. Many others have walked this path before you and have found ways to integrate their spiritual insights with the practicalities of everyday life. Seek support when needed, whether from trusted friends, spiritual mentors, or mental health professionals who understand the unique challenges of spiritual awakening. Ultimately, the goal is not to avoid these dark side effects, but to move through them with grace and learn from them. Each challenge presents an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and a more authentic expression of your true self. As you continue on your spiritual journey, may you find the strength to face these shadows, the wisdom to learn from them, and the courage to keep moving forward on your path of awakening. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the dark side effects of spiritual awakening. I hope this video has provided valuable insights and practical perspectives to help you navigate your own spiritual journey. If you found this content helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue creating informative and transformative content for spiritual seekers like yourself. Remember, the path of awakening may not always be easy, but it is always worthwhile. Until next time, may your journey be filled with wisdom, growth, and authentic transformation.